Pakistan cricket at its best. 1 minute down, next minute up.
Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me once again. Sad Sadiq here for PakPassion, bringing you another exclusive interview. Delighted to have this guest. He's a dear friend of mine. When it comes to the world of international and domestic cricket coaching, there's not a lot this guy hasn't achieved. Former South Africa, Australia, Sri Lanka, Pakistan head coach, coached in county cricket, in franchises all around the world. He's coached in the PSL for Karachi Kings, the Lanka Premier League, Derbyshire, Northern Superchargers, where he's now the director of cricket. And one of his biggest achievements undoubtedly will be the 2017 Champions Trophy win with Pakistan, the one and only Mickey Arthur. Mickey, thanks very much for joining me.
Pleasure, Sads. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Well, I had to cut it short, Mickey, because I think with all your achievements and all the teams that you've coached for, I think that would have taken up the whole interview. Mickey, let's start with coaching Pakistan. Obviously, you've got a lot of experience of coaching Pakistan. We've got the Champions Trophy coming up, and Aqib Javed is the head coach there. So, as a former Champions Trophy winner, Mickey, which you obviously deserve a lot of credit for in that achievement, what advice would you give Aqib Javed?
I think the biggest advice I could give is just to make sure you hit the ground running. So today's result for Pakistan is really good because it'll give the camp a lot of confidence. What it does do is it solidifies roles, and guys will go into the next sort of rehearsal game, the final of the Tri-Nations against New Zealand, as I say, with a lot of confidence. Well, the one thing about the Champs Trophy is it comes thick and fast. So you can't take your time in getting into the Champions Trophy. You have to hit that Champions Trophy running because every game is vitally important. And a loss, sets you back massively.
Well, that's it, Mickey. I mean, given that it's basically every match is a knockout, isn't it? You've got to be up and ready for every single match. Do you think the Pakistan squad that's been selected, we've had a lot of uproar about some of the players that have been selected. Do you think that squad is good enough to win the Champions Trophy?
Yeah, look, I've had a look at it, and I thought there were holes in it. But then today I've just witnessed a wonderful chase, and the squad looked like it had a little bit more depth. There's certain areas that I think could be bolstered, is certainly the depth. Who's going to be the power hitter? And it looks like they've settled on Kustal Shah. I've just worked with Kustal in the BPL, and he was outstanding. What he provides is he provides a power game, but he also provides a left-handed option at the back end of the innings, which is quite crucial. He bowls his spin, a little bit of spin, so it looks like he's solidified that role, which is great. The other area that I think is the bowling, and Harris Roth is going to be crucial in terms of getting his fitness back. The one thing that's disappointed me in the last two games watching has been their death bowling, and I think those last 10 overs could be a defining point. I know Shane Shah and Naseem, etc., have got it in them, and I think they just need to redefine their plans. They need to get their fields right. They need to have the ability to cut the ground in half, bowling wide hole when necessary. So I think that's an area that probably needs a lot of work going into that first into the Champions Trophy, and then also the spin option. Do they go Abra and Kustal with Salman Agha giving a little bit of a variation? And is that good enough in the conditions that they're going to play in? So those are the ones that sort of raise a question mark for me. I would have said middle order batting, but Salman Ali Agha today was absolutely outstanding. So it looks like that they've got that one sorted out now.
Are you surprised that they've only gone with one frontline spinner in the squad at the moment? I mean, other teams seem to be packing their spin bowling options given the nature of the pitches, and Pakistan have just gone for an inexperienced spinner in Babar Azam.
That does surprise me, Saj. And you know, as I said, I think that is an area that possibly could be tinkered with before the Champions Trophy. The conditions that are certainly in Lahore and Karachi, we're having watched these last two games, are going to be tough for quick bowlers. So your certain change of pace, having the ability to have spinners that can go away from the bat and into the bat, are going to be crucial for them. So yeah, I am surprised a guy like Shadab Khan is not. Now I don't know where Shadab is in terms of his cricket at the minute, but what I do know is that, you know, Shadab Khan gives you incredible depth, great fielder, very good batsman, great cricket thinker, and on his day, a match winner with the ball. So I'm surprised he's not in it. But look, you know, they look like they've got their bases covered, and I hope that they do really well in it.
Let's talk Babar Azam, Mickey, who hasn't been having the best of runs at the moment in international cricket. But as they say, form is temporary, class is permanent. So I'm sure a big score is only around the corner. What do you feel about his batting position? That he seems to be thrust into that opening position now that Sam Ayub's not available to open with Fakhar Zaman. Do you think that's a positive, or is that a little bit of a concern?
That surprised me a little bit, because you're taking it, and listen, I still think Babar Azam is in the top echelon of ODI batting in the world. I mean, all batting. Yeah, he hasn't put it together for a bit, and you know that happens with players when they you know, whether they lose that little edge, or they lose that little bit of hunger. And international cricket and batting in the top order is a game of very fine margins. Whether that's happened to him, I'm not sure, but I was surprised they moved him, simply because he's been so successful at number 3. And then they seem to be playing a little bit with the number 3 position at the minute, where you've got a world champion who could slot in at 3 for you. And then you look for somebody at the top of the order. Now, is it, you know, I saw Usman Khan play 1 or 2 really good innings in the BPL. He was a little bit inconsistent, but, you know, he certainly gives you that Sayum Ayub type effect. It's he hits the ball in different areas, and he's a little bit manic at the crease, but he has the ability to get you off to a really good start. That could be an option, but I was surprised that Babar is not batting in his best position, which is number 3.
Mickey, Pakistan versus India. I mean, that day at the Oval for the final. So you've started smiling already, Mickey. As soon as I mentioned that match, you know what it takes to beat India. And unfortunately, the Pakistan-India match this time around isn't going to be in Pakistan, but it's going to be in the UAE. Still a huge occasion. I mean, just tell us a little bit about, you know, Pakistan versus India matches and your experience.
Yeah, my experiences are, it's just manic. You know, it's mad. It's chaotic. It's everything leading up to the game is just so. I say manic, but it's just so unstructured in a way, because there's just so much outside noise. What the players need to do is kind of get themselves away from that and bunker down and be very clear in what they want to get out of the game, be very clear in the roles they're going to play in the game, and give themselves some time away from the madding crowd, as it were. I'd suggest players get off their phones. They don't have a look at the rhetoric behind the game or the comments, and they just focus in on that one, because, you know, I've seen throwaway lines from both Pakistan players and Indian players around the fact it's just another game. Well, it's not just another game. That's you're kidding yourselves if you try and throw it away as just another game. It's massive. But what an opportunity. You know, I remember throwing it back to the players in 2017 as being an incredible opportunity, because you win, and you're heroes for life. and that opportunity doesn't come around that often to players. I mean, I still watch that game being played on TV. I still watch Rizwan and Babar's chase in the UAE in the 2020 World Cup game. That gets played and played and played. So it is an opportunity for players to really make a name for themselves, and that is how I would sell it to them from a coaching point of view.
The Champions Trophy in Pakistan predominantly, Mickey, is that a help or a hindrance for Pakistan? You know, the home conditions, their own fans, or is that going to increase the pressure?
No, I think it's great that it's in Pakistan. I really do. I think to see an international ICC event in Pakistan is fantastic. It's fantastic for the people. It's fantastic for the country. It will apply a little bit more pressure on the Pakistan team, but that's pressure they can deal with. You know, it's an opportunity for them to play in their home country in front of their own friends, their own people, friends, family, and that is an amazing opportunity for them.
And finally, Mickey, who do you think, apart from Pakistan, can win the Champions Trophy?
I've been watching and thinking about it. I thought New Zealand have started very, very well. They seem to have bases covered. They're a nuggety side who tends to always play above themselves in ICC events. I think they're going to be a tough nut to crack. I worry about Australia. They've lost their full attack now. So it's going to be a very inexperienced bowling attack in Pakistan. Are they going to be able to sustain it? India obviously look a very, very good outfit. I mean, I've just watched them beat England 3-0. Albeit in India, conditions would be pretty similar. In the UAE, they're going to be a formidable side. My dark horse is Afghanistan, though. They've got some very, very good players now, and all those players are very experienced as well. And on their day, they can beat anybody. So if they get it right, who knows? I mean, and that's what makes this a great competition. Because you've asked me who else, and I've virtually mentioned every side.
I was going to say, Mickey, I think you've mentioned all 8 teams now.
And that's not because I'm sitting on the fence. That's the nature of the tournament: is who hits the ground running, who hits that ground with the best form. That's going to be the side that wins it, and it could be any of the 8.
I mean, it's been 8 years now, Mickey. Well, nearly 8 years, but that win at the Oval, that must still be fresh in your mind.
I still remember it like it was yesterday. What a day that was! You know, we still talk about it. We reminisce about it all the time when I bump into the players. And the one thing I do know: to beat India, you've got to be on your game. You can't be off your game to beat them. And on that day, luck was on our side. But I always say you earn your luck, and we earned our luck through incredibly good team spirit, a great work ethic, and I thought we were brave because we played the younger boys, and the younger boys on that stage did incredibly well. I mean, Babar Azam, no ball, but then he played the innings of his life. Shadab Khan bowled beautifully through the middle. Hassan Ali was a revelation in that tournament, and so many more players. So it was a very, very special day, and one that I'll never forget.
Are you heading out to Pakistan, Mickey, for the tournament, or are you busy with other assignments?
No, getting ready here for the county season. I was in Bangladesh in the BPL. I was in Guyana for the Global Super League. And now I've got to get knuckled down to my proper job and make sure that Derbyshire County Cricket Club is competitive this season.
Well, Mickey, I always say it, and I'm going to say it again. You know, the colour green suits you best.
I loved it. It was my best time in coaching. I loved it.
Mickey, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. All the best to you for the upcoming, projects that you're working on, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you at some point in the summer.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you at Old Trafford. You take care.
Thanks,
all the
Mickey.
best.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.